In 2019, what we thought was a sprained wrist injury actually was acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
Understandably, Mason and his family were completely shell-shocked and overwhelmed.
I definitely had to do a lot of treatments. I remember that some of the chemo that I got would give me neuropathy where I couldn't feel, or I just couldn't feel stuff in my feet.
Mason went through the first year of consolidation treatment and had begun maintenance treatment, and at a routine lumbar puncture and a bone marrow biopsy, we found out that he had relapsed. Mason transitioned to the stem cell transplant team.
Riley is the only hospital in the state of Indiana that offers pediatric stem cell transplant and immunotherapy. And he did very well, but about a year after his transplant, he again relapsed. And really, at that point of therapy, there are not a lot of clinical options that were FDA approved.
Riley Children's Hospital was able to offer a study for Mason to be a part of.
He received a research-based CAR T-cell therapy product that, shockingly and amazing to all of us, got him into remission.
We know that Mason is here, and he is alive because of previous research.
Most kids in that position will not survive their cancer.
If we could be a part of that to further that research and development for pediatric cancer research, we immediately signed whatever forms we could to help him and help other children.
Research saves lives. That's the bottom line. And whether that is in leukemia therapy or other cancers, cures are not possible without innovation, and innovation is not possible without dollars to go behind it.
My son's treatment was provided through research that was paid for by generous donors.
We're so thankful to the Walther Cancer Foundation for the support that they provided for doing some of this work. Their research dollars fuel innovation in ways that, if it weren't there, cures like the one Mason has experienced would not be possible. We wouldn't have the opportunity to see Mason not just living, but thriving.
To anyone that would consider adding to this donation, know that you are making a difference in the life of a child, their family, their community.
It's just important. There's nothing else I could say.
Hi, we are the Villafana family, and Riley helps me and my daughter whenever she's sick, whenever she falls sick as in need of medical attention. Riley has been great to us. The staff at Riley, they are very kind and nurturing. Whenever she goes there, I have a peace of mind knowing that she is comfortable and that she feels safe, because Riley staff is always on point. Your donation to Riley helps support families like mine.
Kenna Preston and Emma Yarbrough. Emma is, she was TJ's primary nurse. She is absolutely amazing, and she's still in our life to this day. Kenna Preston is also another nurse. Kenna primaried for both TJ and Xander while they were there, but those two ladies are absolutely amazing. The care that they provided to our daughters, it was unmatched. It was an amazing time just getting to know them, and they've been absolutely wonderful.
Alexei is a curious and very hardworking young man. He was the swimmer of the year, I would say competitive but very focused on his goals.
He had big plans for the summer, looking forward to school. We had just come back from the school that he was going to be attending, and we were all very excited about that. Then, he started to get sick.
So it all kind of started with a migraine, and eventually those symptoms started to persist, as well as a really high temperature that was pretty stubborn.
Tatiana was out of the country in business, and we went to the local hospital. His doctor called again and said, well, it looks like it's more complicated, so he needs to go to Riley. And that was when the alarm sort of went off.
His red blood cells were getting destroyed on a constant basis, and that made us obligated to keep giving him blood transfusion. And at that time, we were not sure, is this an infection? Is this a malignancy? This could be any of this or all of them together. It was a very rare condition, yet extremely serious and very fatal if not recognized and treated.
I remember very clearly landing in Indy, getting to the hospital, and they came back with a diagnosis of HLH.
HLH is basically where your immune system is dysregulated and you have this hyperinflammation. And then all that inflammation from your own cells is damaging your tissue and your organs.
So we had to react immediately. That included some steroids and some actually chemotherapy that target these cells and control this dysregulated immune response in the body.
I've always called him Alexander the Great. And Alexander the Great entered the biggest battle. I remember one of the times sitting back and not just thinking, why him? Why let it be me? As a parent, you wanted to take that.
I would say there's over 50 doctors that were involved in my case at some point, and almost every department at Riley.
From the very beginning, it was arms wrapped around us and included us in all of it. And there were 25 people outside of his room, and we had a voice.
It was a tough decision early on to treat him with steroids. This medicine is life-saving. To stop the HLH at the same time, there is a chance of consequences.
The steroids really were eating up at his femurs, his bones, and eventually he ended up with 2 core decompression surgeries. And at the end of that, he learns that he has to have a hip replacement surgery.
The hip replacement improved his quality of life dramatically. What happened at Riley not only, saved him physically, it opened these doors for him. He's a different person today. And he has 1 more year of school in culinary science and sustainable food systems. And he's also going to be competing in his first bodybuilding competition.
I want him to be happy and live the life that he wants to live. And we couldn't do that without all of these treatments. And if it's not near 100% survival rate for kids, then that's not good enough. And the way that we get better at that is through research.
So I encourage anyone who has a way to say thank you and pay it forward to do it with Riley, because they will make sure that that has the biggest impact on the most amount of children in our state and beyond.
Meet Charlie. As a teenager, he was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive form of leukemia. He received a stem cell transplant at Riley Hospital, the only place in Indiana where children can receive this treatment. Today, because of Riley, Charlie gets to compete in tennis, play a round of golf, and just be a teenager. Kids like Charlie count on Riley, and Riley counts on you.
Go.
My heart belongs to Riley because they saved my life.
I love Riley because they care about each individual patient.
Without Riley, I wouldn't be able to play with my dog Oreo.
Because of Riley, I can do cheerleading.
I love Riley because they help me be like me.
My heart belongs to Riley because my doctors have helped me overcome and cope with my Tourette syndrome.
I love Riley because they saved my life.
I love Riley because all the nurses and doctors are super kind and they know what you're going through.
Because of Riley, I can play tennis and run and jump on my trampoline.
Thank you so much to Riley donors.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to Riley donors.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.